What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a very exciting Liverpool transfer news video, because the Daily Mail and other English newspapers are reporting that Liverpool want to sign Fabian Ruiz, the Spanish midfielder who Napoli signed as a Jorginho replacement. But he actually did even better than Jorginho, scoring 7 goals for Napoli last season in 40 appearances. Before that he played for Real Betis for 3 seasons in La Liga, but he's still only 23 years old, and we can scout Fabian Ruiz on Tuesday when Napoli will host Liverpool, and apparently the Napoli dressing rooms are still not finished after summer construction, which Ancelotti is furious about. So more on that later, but now let's talk about Fabian Ruiz, and I will give a scouting profile for you guys in this video. So if you guys enjoy these kind of videos, leave a like, it just takes 1 second and it really helps me out. And also many more FIFA and PES videos coming later, so make sure to turn on the post notification, the bell icon, so you never miss these great FIFA 20 and PES 2020 videos that are coming out this week. But Fabian Ruiz is popular among big clubs because according to the English newspapers, Barcelona, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich also are monitoring and scouting Fabian Ruiz. And Ruiz has emerged as one of Napoli's key players after making, as I said, 40 appearances, scoring 7 goals, and according to calciomercato.com, the Italian website, his displays have been compared to Xavi, Spain legend Xavi, who was of course one of the best players to ever play for Barcelona and for Spain. So I think these comparisons, maybe in terms of playing style, not in terms of Fabian Ruiz is already as good as Xavi, but in terms of playing style, if you want to think about what kind of player Fabian Ruiz is, think about how Xavi played as a deep-lying playmaker, but who could also get into the box and score goals sometimes. And I think the Napoli games against Liverpool will tell us a lot about Fabian Ruiz and how Fabian Ruiz can cope with the Liverpool attack and the Liverpool midfield. I think that will be very telling, and Jurgen Klopp is looking to bolster his midfield options either in the January transfer window or next summer, because James Milner, even though he's getting a contract extension, we need to find a long-term replacement for him, and Fabian Ruiz could be the Milner replacement. And also Naby Keita is very injury prone, which I'm heartbroken about, because Naby Keita was so excited, and I'm still so excited for him as a Liverpool player. I was so excited when we signed him, but so far he hasn't lived up to the expectations, mainly because of injuries. But if Liverpool go for Ruiz, it won't be because of a cheap transfer, because he's one of the key players for Napoli, and Ancelotti probably will want a decent amount of money for him. But that's the way it is for the top clubs in Europe, and I consider Napoli a top club in Europe. They are challenging Juventus for the Serie A title for like the third or fourth season in a row. And he recently made his international debut for Spain in June against the Faroe Islands, and you don't get a call-up to the Spanish national team, one of the most stacked and most complete national teams in world football, if you are not a good player. So I really think that Fabian Ruiz would be a very good signing for Liverpool. And also Ruiz also played a key role when Spain won the Under-21 European Championship this summer, and that was a very good tournament for Fabian Ruiz, where he played quite a lot of games. So for the Spain Under-21 team, Ruiz has a European Championship gold medal. He scored 5 goals in just 14 appearances, which is a very good return. And also if you consider that he scored 5 goals for Napoli in just 27 games in the Serie A as well, that's a very good return as well. Fabian Ruiz gave a very good interview on Liverpool actually last season. You know that Liverpool eliminated Napoli on the last match day in the group stage of the Champions League when we beat them 1-0, and this is what Fabian Ruiz said. This was an interview given in spring, so not straight after the Champions League group stage, but just before the Champions League final, and this is what Ruiz said. The truth is that we, Napoli, could have progressed and eliminated Liverpool, but they got through the group on goal difference in the end. And Jurgen Klopp has done a very good job. Liverpool and the Klopp's team never gave up. That's why I think Liverpool will not let the final escape them this year, and they will win it. And Ruiz's prediction was right, because Liverpool won 2-0, of course, thanks to Salah's great penalty and Origi's goal. And I'm still very happy that we could at least manage to win one of the 2 early trophies that was on offer. We managed to win against Chelsea in the European Super Cup final, but we couldn't beat Man City on penalties in the English Super Cup, the Community Shield final. Fabian Ruiz not only got 5 goals in the Serie A, but he got 4 assists. He only started 20 games in the top flight, and he came on as a substitute in another 7 games, but he had some small knocks during the season. And of course, Napoli won't be keen to lose one of their key players. I think Liverpool need to be smart and think long term. If Fabian Ruiz is available either in January or next summer, we should sign the 23-year-old playmaker, because I think we need a long-term replacement for Milner. And even though Wijnaldum has quite a good few years ahead of him, and Henderson as well, I think Liverpool should think long term. To sign a 23-year-old who is one of the key players for Napoli would be a very good long-term signing, because if Fabian Ruiz can settle in the Premier League well, and if he can develop under Jurgen Klopp even more, and Jurgen Klopp improved almost every single young player that joined Liverpool since he became the manager, so I think it's almost a given, almost a guarantee that Fabian Ruiz will improve and get to another level under Jurgen Klopp, then I think Liverpool will be sorted in terms of their midfield options for the foreseeable future. We have Naby Keita, we would have Fabian Ruiz and other very talented young players. Fabinho is also quite young, so you know, Naby Keita, Ruiz and Fabinho could be a long-term Liverpool's future midfield, and I'm very excited about it. And Liverpool reached an agreement with the young forward Paul Glatzel, who scored 28 goals last season for Liverpool's youth teams. And this is a very big statement from Liverpool, because Paul Glatzel is out injured at the moment. So that just shows how highly Liverpool rate him, that even though he's out injured, Liverpool were really keen on getting him on a new contract. And this is what he said after signing a new contract. He's only 18 years old, so he has a big future ahead of him. It's a great feeling, obviously. I was disappointed to get my injury at the start of the season, but it's a great feeling, and it shows that the club has got faith in me. Now I can just focus on my rehab and get back on the pitch. And even though Ryan Brewster was the star of the show, and this is the striker who Liverpool fans have been talking about the most, but Glatzel scored 28 goals for the Liverpool under-18s last season, and he is just as exciting as Ryan Brewster for me, and he has shown signs of his quality in pre-season against Tranmere Rovers before he picked up a serious injury, and that has kept him sidelined for the rest of pre-season, which was a shame, because he definitely would have played more minutes. And according to Paul Gorst, who is a journalist and he's the Liverpool FC correspondent for the Liverpool Echo, he is saying that Liverpool was on the verge of signing Lloyd Kelly, who is a left back who in the end Bournemouth signed because they made a £30 million bid and Liverpool didn't want to rival it. So let's hear what he has to say about this, because he could have been the only major outfield player signing for Liverpool. Lloyd Kelly was seriously considered by Jurgen Klopp and sporting director Michael Edwards, but Bournemouth's £13 million deal was enough to keep Liverpool away from the negotiating table. The idea was that Kelly would have room to improve at a steady rate as a second fiddle behind undisputed main left-back Andy Robertson. Other than him though, Liverpool steered clear of any significant moves. Klopp was more than happy with the squad that won the Champions League and finished second to Man City with 97 points. They also signed Adrian, of course. He's currently Liverpool's number one in the absence of Alisson, so he was definitely a senior transfer target. And I think signing Harvey Elliott and Van den Berg is also good for the future. But Liverpool had a very cool, calm transfer window, and I think we are gearing up for a big summer transfer window in 2020, which I'm very excited about. And Jurgen Klopp came out with a very interesting interview saying that titles are not his main motivation. So let's hear what he has to say. He gave an interview to a German newspaper, and he said, "Titles are and were never my motivation. I want to win every game and make my players better day by day, and then we will see where that leads us. We were very close last year. You only lose one match in the whole Premier League season and it's not enough in the end. That was very bitter. But it's clear that there is a lot more possible with my team, and yes, the title in the Premier League would be a great endorsement for many years of hard work." So it's interesting, maybe Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp wants to a little bit calm the pressure on Liverpool, because many fans and pundits are saying that Liverpool should win the Premier League title with this great team. But the fact of the matter is, we are up against one of the best teams in history, Manchester City, and if Liverpool win the title, it will be probably the greatest achievement in Liverpool's history, because we haven't been up against a team as good as Man City before. But also, if we don't win the title, you have to put it into context. It wouldn't be a massive failure, because I mean 97 points would have won the title in almost every season apart from the last two seasons. And that just shows the standards that Man City are setting. But I think Liverpool have a big chance. They have a good chance. Man City are the favorites, but Liverpool have a good chance this season. If we keep our key players fit, then Liverpool have every chance of winning the Premier League. And what gives me, I think, a little bit of hope is that Man City keep getting some injuries to key players. I mean, Leroy Sané and especially Laporte. Laporte, I think, is the big one for Man City, because they are already missing Vincent Kompany, who went to Anderlecht. And how ironic was it that Vincent Kompany missed his own testimonial because of getting injured, and that was just very ironic. But also now, without Laporte and without Kompany, Man City's defense won't be as good as last season. So I hope Man City will concede more goals and maybe drop a little bit more points just to give Liverpool a chance. Van Dijk found an unlikely ally in the quest to win the Ballon d'Or, and that is Sergio Ramos, who many Liverpool fans, quite frankly, pretty much hate after what he did to Salah and to Karius in the 2018 Champions League final. But the Real Madrid star Sergio Ramos said this about Van Dijk and the Ballon d'Or: "If Van Dijk wins it, the Ballon d'Or, it would be on sufficient merit. Great defender. As a defender, it's harder to win trophies like the Ballon d'Or. It seems as though it's not just Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo now. It seems there's a route opening for others to win the Ballon d'Or." And I think sooner or later that was inevitable, because Messi and Ronaldo can't keep going on forever. But I think this arrived earlier than anyone expected. I think until Messi and Ronaldo retires, everybody thought that they will win the Ballon d'Or every single season, but that's not the case, and Van Dijk has a very good chance to win the Ballon d'Or. And Jamie Carragher gave an interview after that Kompany testimonial saying that Man City are still favorites in the title race, but Liverpool have a chance. This is what Carragher said. I think it's a bit early yet to judge the title race properly. I think we've got to probably wait until Christmas. I do feel around Christmas time that Liverpool and City will have a substantial big gap at the top of the table, and it looks like there's a little bit of a gap already at this moment, but I still think Man City are favorites for the Premier League title. They are the best team in the Premier League at this moment because they won the Premier League twice in a row, and they proved that last season as well. So I think it's still on Liverpool to overtake Man City, but they are more than capable of doing it. And just my comment, Liverpool got off to a perfect start, and if we beat Newcastle, which will be a tough game, a lot tougher than many people expect, because Newcastle won at Tottenham, they only narrowly lost to Arsenal, so defensively they have been a lot more solid than, for example, in games against Norwich. So against the top teams, I think Newcastle really tighten up defensively, so it will be a hard game. But if Liverpool win, the pressure will be on Man City, because then the gap will be 5 points, and Man City go to Norwich, which could be a tricky game. Norwich almost got a point off Chelsea at home. And Gary Neville in his podcast said this about Man City and Liverpool and comparing them. I've stated this numerous times in the last 18 months. Man City's front three are brilliant, but I think that Liverpool's front three are even better. I think if you said to Pep Guardiola, would you swap your front three to Liverpool's front three, he would say yes. But that's something that is high praise indeed, because City's front three are outstanding. I think the main reason is that Sterling and Aguero are world class, but Sané or Mahrez or Bernardo Silva, they are very good players, but they are not as good as Mane or Salah. That's, I think, the one player that Man City could maybe even upgrade. But Leroy Sané getting a long-term injury is also beneficial for Liverpool, so I think it will be very interesting how these two teams shape up, and I think it will be Liverpool and Man City who will probably finish comfortably in the top two, and it's very difficult to predict who will win the title. I went with Manchester City in my Premier League title and top 4 and top 6 predictions video. Honestly, right now with the injuries that Man City are getting, I think Liverpool have a real chance. I honestly think that, but of course it's very early in the season and Liverpool players could still get injured as well, so I think we should hold our horses a little bit and just try to win every game that comes our way and see what happens. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Goodbye.